Hello, it's Monica from Crafting with Quilling Lady and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create your own card sketch and turn it into a project. So, I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. Sometimes I lack some inspiration to create square cards. So first, all you have to do is to have a piece of copy paper, ruler and a pen. If you want, you can also use a sketchbook to keep all your ideas in one place. First, we have to draw the shape of a card. In my case, it's going to be a square. Try to make sure that the drawing you're going to do is more or less the same size as your finished project. In my case, it's going to be slightly smaller. Here, we have to decide where you want your focal element with a sentiment. And it's always a good idea to put it first on your sketch. Then we need the background paper. It's always a good idea to have a small border on the card. And then to balance all the elements out, we're going to create an element on the left hand side and then diagonal line at the top. And I'm going to create a banner. Because why not? The rule of thirds is always amazing. Then we have to fill some spaces and I'm going to create two rectangles. At this point you don't really need to make sure that all the elements have proper measurement, because later on you can use a trimmer or guillotine to adjust the sizes. Then on the left hand side I decided that this piece will be for a ribbon for extra interest. To create my card I decided to use new collection from Relatively Thoughtful, and this one is called Happy Birthday. It's designed by Paula Machado, and if you want to get this collection, I left the link in the description down below. I thought it is such a beautiful collection, and I really wanted to create something special. So, having your own card sketch, it is perfect idea. I wonder, have you ever created a card sketch for your project? If you have, please let me know how did you do it. I don't really do it that often, but this year I decided to create some more sketches and actually maybe turn them into PDF at some point. As you can see, this collection is so beautiful and perfect for so many birthday occasions. First, I decided to create the background panel and then the smaller square using those two papers. When these are cut to the size, then we can start putting it on 6 by 6 inches card base. And mine is going to open at the top. And at this point, I thought, let's add some more interest, and we're going to cut those elements using two leftover pieces from the squares we created. And then I decided to use a slightly different design paper for the smaller rectangle. Super quick and easy. So you can always adjust the sizes. For the banner, actually in their collection you do have the banner. So all I have to do is to cut it out. If you don't have a banner in any of the collections you've got, you can create it very easily by doing small triangles and then put a string. And that will be perfect as well. If you're inspired by my sketch, I would really like to see your creation. So please tag me in your beautiful make if you create it. And I also wonder, how often do you create your own card sketches? Or maybe you look for them somewhere on any websites. If you do, please let me know which one is it. To create my focal element, I decided to use the die from CRAFTSTASH & Co. And this one was designed by MARTA. I thought that will make my focal element even more special. And I'm going to use gold mirror card for that element. As you can see, there is circle inside that's missing. So I'm going to use one of the design papers and actually cut it again. And this one I decided to use some candles, because in the end it is a birthday card. And now it is time to start putting the elements together, but to add even more dimension and interest, I'm going to use my Distress Oxide Inks, and all the names of the products I use in today's video you can check in the description down below if you're interested. I also wonder, have you seen my Fancy Fold Craft Challenge this month? If you haven't, the link is at the top right corner, where you can learn how to create a diamond easel card with no cutting dice. When this is ready, I thought I really like it, but is there a way to actually make my card even more special? And of course it is. So I decided to use a tool that I haven't used before, and I think that really makes a difference. So First, we're going to add that ink on some of the elements for extra interest, and then I'm going to use some of the elements together. So let's have a look how they look. Do you like that combo so far? Please let me know in the comments down below. For my ribbon, I decided to use one of the cutting dies from Crafter's Companion, and I die cut it with gold mirror cut just to match that mandala on the right hand side. And from my stash, I'm going to use that piece of ribbon, and I think the color is pretty well matched with the collection. Do you agree? How often do you use ribbons in your card making? Please let me know in the comments down below. To make my job so much easier with ribbon threading, it's always a good idea to create a small triangle at the end using your low tack tape, and then you can thread really easily through your die cut. So I encourage you to use that trick whenever you do ribbon threading on your card making. When this is ready, then you have to put it on the panel. But first, I thought, let's add even more interest. The sketch looks pretty good, but sometimes when you look very closely at your finished project, something is lacking. So I thought, let's add even more interest. And to do it, I'm going to use my cushion here and a tool to perforate the sides. It is super cool. Maybe you don't really see in the camera how it looks, but in real life it really makes a difference. It is super cool. You can create straight lines or wavy lines for extra interest, and that's exactly what I'm going to do on the smaller panel. I'm going to create 3 lines on each side, and when you look at the card really closely, you don't really know how it was made, but it looks super cool. Now it is time to start assembling the panels together, and I'm going to start with the background panel first, and using my one and only liquid glue, magic glue, I'm going to start putting the elements together, because I do have time to maneuver all of them if I make a mistake. So when this is ready, now we have to put the ribbon on the smaller panel. And this is crucial, because if you put the smaller panel first and the ribbon, then you have to cut the excess. But if you put the ribbon first on a smaller panel, using some tape on the back, that looks professionally finished. And I encourage you to do so. I wonder, have you heard about RT Create, Make and Share Facebook group? If you haven't, I left the link in the description down below. So basically, if you have any of the relatively thoughtful collections, you can share your makes there. I also left the links to Relatively Thoughtful YouTube channel, Instagram and Craft World, which means you can check all of them if you're interested in some projects. When this is ready, I decided to add some dimension on my front panel. To do it, I'm going to use my foam adhesive, and this way your project will be even more interesting. It's always a good idea to use some red liner tape with ribbon when you put it on the back. So this way it's going to be secure forever, and that's exactly what we want. You can use your pokey tool to peel off the backing of a tape and then put few drops of liquid glue, because with time that dry adhesive dries even more. So if you don't put the liquid glue, all the parts will come apart, but with liquid glue that card will last forever. It is time to start putting those smaller rectangles on a card, and with the smaller one I thought, let's add that perforated edge again. So I'm going to use my tool and I'm going to do 3 lines on each side. So this way it's going to match my bigger panel. Have you ever created that element using that tool? Please let me know in the comments down below. First, I'm going to adhere the panel with the candles, and this way I'm going to make sure that everything will fit on my card properly. To put some liquid glue on the mandala here, it is really easy, especially with that nozzle on my glue. And our card will be nearly complete, but we still need to add the banner at the top, and to do it I thought, let's add even more dimension, so I'm going to use some small foam squares. You can do that as well, or you can put them flat, and to be honest, that card will go flat in the envelope as well, but you can always add some dimension if you want, and that will make your card even more special. So when this is ready, I'm going to use my pokey tool to peel off the backing, and everything will be adhered forever, especially with a few drops of liquid glue. And the last thing you have to add is a sentiment to your card. And for this one, I decided to create a sentiment with Polish words, because this card will be given to a friend of mine. So now I decided to create that sentiment with gold mirror card, so everything will match beautifully on my card, and I do encourage you to do it as well. So as you can see, we don't always have the rule of thirds, but also we've got threes here. So we've got three gold mirror card elements and then 3 elements at the front, which makes your card even more special. And again, if you're inspired by this card, please let me know in the comments down below, and if you create your own card, please tag me on your social media. Now it is time to add some gold gems and the card will be complete. There is plenty of space to write your message inside. You can also use some pop-up elements if you want. And thank you so much for watching and spending that time with me. Don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're new. I really hope you'll have a wonderful day and feel inspired. See you in my next video. Happy crafting!